the 3:30 demonstration. I'm Dean, one of the gold pourers. And the job that I have, if we were here in the 1860s, would be a very dangerous but very important job, and that would be to purify gold. Wherever you find gold around the world, it won't be pure. It'll always have impurities in it. Now, pure gold is what we call 24 karat gold. That's 99.99. But you can't get that straight out of the ground. Always has impurities. Silver, copper, tin, iron, basically other metals that blended through the gold. And as a result, the more impurities brings the carat value down. Here in Ballarat, they're not finding 24 karat, they're finding 22 karat gold. And 22 karat, very good quality gold. In fact, best natural gold you'll find anywhere in the world. Right here in Ballarat. Very small traces of impurities. So my job is to take the gold that they're finding, melt it down, or smelt it, turn it into a liquid, remove the impurities, and then pour it back into a solid. That solid has no impurities and is now 24 karat gold. Who do I do this for? Well, in the 1860s, the mining companies came to town. So far, we've been looking for gold for 10 years here in Ballarat. They're out there looking for nuggets. They've come from all over the world, these miners. But now the mining companies are here. They're not interested in the nuggets that are on the surface. They're more interested in what's underground. They've now got the technology to dig down to depths of up to 1 kilometre or thereabouts. The mining companies that set up here in Ballarat did so because we have the best gold in the world and we have so much of it, but they're not looking for it. They're actually looking for this. They're quartz mining companies. They're mining quartz because this is a natural gold-bearing rock. There is gold inside this rock. In fact, there's more gold inside this rock than there is in finding some nuggets. To find those nuggets, you've got to be lucky. It's like winning lotto. But we know there's gold in that rock. And through science, we know where the rock is. We know how deep it's going to be. We know which way it's running. All you have to do is find it. On average, it's 100 metres underground. It's a solid piece, the size of the building we're sitting in. But it goes on for hundreds of metres. There are no nuggets in it, but there are veins of gold. Veins like blades of grass, thin as wire, as thin as your hair, inside that rock. So they dig down until they find it through various layers of rock, like basalt. That's all going to be brought out and they throw it on the pile out there. That's the mullet heap, that's waste. They get down to this here, and now it's a solid piece the size of the building we're in. You can't bring it to the surface, so they must break it up. That's easy. Drill holes into it, black powder, blast it. Bring the pieces to the surface. Take the pieces into the battery house next door. That building is part of our mining company as well. And to free the gold from inside that, you must crush it under hammers this big, made of steel, driven by steam, bounce up and down all day long. Put the rock under those hammers, rock turns into quartz dust. Now we can get to the gold. Just wash it away. Because gold is heavy, it's much lighter than the rest, you can wash it away. The crushed rock, that is. Until you're left with just the gold. This is what it would look like. Tiny, tiny pieces. Pieces so small, can't do anything with them. Pieces so small, one bit, worthless. Imagine having 1 million on them. You consolidate all of that into one piece. You turn it from 22 karat into 24 karat. Very quickly gains value. Now that is my job. So up until this point, I've had nothing to do with the discovery of the gold. I don't even go underground. The miners do that. They find the gold, they give it to me after it's been crushed and washed in there, and it comes in pieces like this. I put all those pieces in there, about half a cup. On top of those pieces, a little bit of powdered borax. All the impurities will melt and stick to that powder. Crucible, straight into the furnace. We go up to gold's melting temperature. Now that is 1,064 degrees. Up until that point, it is a solid. 1,064 degrees, those little pieces of gold melt and they all join together. And I end up with 1 cupful of gold. Now everything else melts, silver, copper, tin, iron, stones, whatever's in there will melt. Gold sinks to the bottom, it's the heaviest. All the impurities sit on top, they're lighter, they stick to that powder, they're collected. I could scrape them off, but if I do this, I can tip them, they'll float to the back, the gold will pour out with no impurities. That's 24 carat. The impurities stay in there, and I throw them away. No good to me. No good to anyone, actually. Now, the gold is melting, but if I take it away right now, by the time I get to the table there, it will be a solid. Loses its temperature very quickly. So today, we're going to go much hotter than its melting point. We're going to go up to about 1,200 degrees. That'll give me about 15 seconds to get out of the furnace and into that there mould before it does set. Now looking in there, that is completely liquid. But still not yet hot enough to pour. I'm going to cook it for about another 15 seconds, maybe 20. From this point on, it's guesswork. I can tell the melting temperature because I can see it when it happens. But going up to 1,200 degrees, there's no thermometer, so I have to guess. The best way to guess is just keep an eye on the gold. And you can usually judge it by the colour that it goes. Very, very bright. Today I'm using a brand new crucible. When you use a brand new crucible, you get a little bit of glaze that comes off it, just like that. And that little bit of glaze gets in your gold. And we will slowly be able to burn that off. So the gold today doesn't look as nice and bright as it should, or it normally does. The gold, as I said, does cool down very quickly. That's already becoming a solid. Loses its heat by giving its heat away. At the moment it's giving all its heat to the mould. So the mould's just absorbing that heat. And already the gold's dropped 300 degrees. Which means it's now down below its melting point. And as you'll see, already completely solid. And there's a lot of that heat there. That wasn't red hot a moment ago. Alright. How hot? 900 degrees. Really hot. Touch that, you're burnt.
That's real gold, isn't it?
That is real gold.
You just keep melting away.
Can do.
Yes. You don't lose any amount.
No, I did notice in that one a little spark just jumped over there. That's a red hot gold spark. So I can pick up all this sand and wash it and get those sparks back. Little tiny bits in there. And occasionally you lose a little bit in your crucible as they get older. But I'm using a brand new one today. So, now that'll take about 3 hours to cool down because gold also cools very, very slowly. When it has nowhere to touch and transfer off its heat, it'll simply just hold on to it. But we don't have that sort of time. So, a little bit of time in the cold water. Now that gold is already safe for me to pick up. It's gone from 900 down to 9 degrees in about 9 seconds. Just does it so fast. Now, the end result is a gold bar. That's 3 kilos or 100 ounces. 3,000 bucks an ounce at the moment. So what you're looking at here is equivalent $300,000 worth of gold. Just there. Where's the security? Right here. I would have to throw it at you. No, I'm a fast runner. So this would be then stamped with the company logo and its weight, its purity, sent off down to Melbourne, back of a horse and coach, and then the whole process starts again. It would take 2 hours to do what I've just done in 10 minutes. Now when you're talking about security, Mum, security for what? There's no gold anymore. Where is it? In the safe. There's a safe just sitting there. We put it in there at the end of every demonstration and get it out ready for the next time. Next time we get it out will be 4:30 this afternoon. So if you want to see it all again, same story, done by someone different. Come back at 4:30 and we'll do it all again. Well, that's where the gold sits now until its next demonstration. After that, it goes put away properly. Yes?
A couple of questions. So that I'm assuming it's glass that keeps the heat in over the crucible is?
You may have noticed a squealing noise like this. In that room, there's a furnace the size of a fridge. It sends a coil through the wall, or a wire through the wall, and heats this via induction. Basically heated by magnets. The magnets sit around it, it heats the gold heats the crucible.
But the heat that's coming off it is so hot that how does that not hurt you?
Once I turn those flames off, the radiant heat coming out of here, I can put my hand right down in there and it's not hot. It's just, gold doesn't give off heat. It'll give it away, but it doesn't give it off. So when it's sitting there red hot, you can put the tip of your nose right next to it. You wouldn't get burned.
So that water that you put onto the hot gold, fiery gold, is that water hot now? Is that out of the
That's freezing cold. Steam, up and out, gone. The water does not even get hot. Not even one bit. Doesn't even get warm. Boil with such furiousness, the steam just out the roof before you even know it. And as soon as it stops hissing, it's safe to pick up. But thank you so much for coming along. If you go down the creek, there is 3 samples down there. If you all collectively come back with a million of them, we'll make a bar and we'll share it out. As long as I get the biggest share, but make it. Have a great afternoon. Come out this way. Thank you.